Hello everyone, welcome back to yet another video of the 100 Days to CLAT series. This is day 33 away from the CLAT exam, and as you can see, we are two-thirds into our journey and there's only 33 days left. And through this series, we are trying to create an accountability system. And in today's video, I would also be discussing how do we analyze a mock perfectly after solving 100 plus mocks and analyzing them. This is the best framework which I have created for myself, and that is what I follow for analyzing. And also, you could join the Telegram channel, comment something, and I'll send you the link. And you can post in your queries over there. So, prior to that, let us discuss what were the tasks which I have done for the day. I did the mock 42 analysis for 50 minutes, very short, crisp, clear सा mock था वो. Then I initially set a target for 5 to 10 mocks, but I later realized it is not that ideal or productive for me to spend that little time for that. So I did only 2 mocks. I did mock 32, which was by far the hardest mock of legal edge, and I did another mock which was relatively easier. So I made a lot of learnings also in that. Then I did the figure of no, I did not do the figure of speech thing. Then thoda sa CLAT post February and Express Feb was remaining, so I completed that in 1 hour 20 minutes. Then the three things which I do every day: GK test, quants ka concepts. There's still a few things left. I mean the 3D figures are still left, but वो मेरे से नहीं हो रहा था because I was feeling too sleepy, exhausted. I don't know what I was feeling yesterday. And one AR ka passage, the mock 41, it was very hard wala AR. So clocked in only 6 hours 45 minutes. So I try my best to do better today. So these are the important vocabulary words. You guys can take a screenshot of it if you want. Now these were the learnings. अब सारे learnings तो discuss नहीं करूँगा, but there are a few questions which I have, which I will ponder upon, and I also want you guys' suggestions on this. What to do if you're feeling sleepy during your mock, or if you're unable to retain. This thing generally doesn't happen to me, but this is just a possibility which I am considering. And what shall be my strategy when this thing happens is the question of mine. And another thing is how to deal with typo errors. Now, what this typo errors means is just if you see CLAT 2025 paper, therein one or two questions in QT were struck down only because of typo error, because the questions were jumbled for every set. For two sets, the A and B, I guess, for them the questions were right. For C and D, the questions were wrong. It said us to refer to 111 or 112 question, which was different for these two sets and different for these two sets. So yeah, that actually worsened the situation a lot. Oh shit. That actually made a lot of worsening the situation because I was doing that but I was not getting the answer and I got set C in that. So now let us come to the mock analysis ka thing. I want you guys to at least note it down somewhere so that you could refer it back anytime later. So the first thing I do is calculate the score because that is the thing which I am most awaited to do. Then the next thing I do is solve the unanswered questions. Unanswered questions with noting time. And I take as much as time as I can. अब जैसे quants में there are some questions which are too difficult, but I still spend a lot of time just to try and solve that question. So this basically helps us to, what does it helps us to? It helps to realize कि if you were to attempt everything, how much would you have scored? So it would just give a bit of more boost of motivation to improve your attempts. So that is what I do. First I solve it. Then after solving it and after calculating the score, I mark the answers of it obviously. I see the questions which I get wrong without the answer key. I try to analyze it without the answer key itself. Why was it wrong? मेरे से क्यों wrong हुआ है? Then if I don't get the answer, I do the passage reading. Then again I try to solve it. Then if I don't get the answer, I read the answer key. Then after reading the answer key भी मेरे को समझ में नहीं आ रहा है, then I bring in the AI tools. AI may I feed in the question and say it to answer, and then I read that. Then what I do is I compare the AI's answer with the answer key का answer. If they both are matching, और मेरे को जब भी I am not able to agree with that, I simply accept my defeat here. Because it is not worth the hassle to argue back, because you cannot actually argue back to the answer key or the AI. So if both of them are saying the same answer, I accept the defeat and I take whatever reasoning they are giving for me. I accept the reasoning. If the both reasoning is contradicting, I take AI's reasoning as the paramount and I write this thing as the wrong question. Yes, I do this a lot of time because a lot of LPT questions and even for that matter LE questions, there are a few wrongs in the answer key, there are a few wrongs in the reasoning itself. So rather than messing up with my reasoning and simply accepting it, I term it as a wrong question and I just move on for that. Then I ask these two important questions to myself: why and how. Why did I get wrong and how can I get it correct? I answer these questions. Then if I make a big learning or a observation, then I write it at the end of the section. I write it at the end of the section, एक compilation कर लेता हूँ. Then I write those learnings in this 100 days to वाला PDF so that I have it all the things together. Then after analyzing all the wrong questions, the next thing I do is analyzing all the questions. ये भी यहाँ लिख लेते हैं. अब काफ़ी क्वेश्चंस ऐसे होते हैं जिधर में यू सिंपली मेक अ तुक्का एंड गेट इट राइट. सो आई एनालाइज दोज क्वेश्चंस. काफ़ी क्वेश्चंस ऐसे होते हैं जहाँ पर टू ऑप्शंस में यू हैव डाउट और आपको सही आ जाता है वो आंसर. सो बट यू कैन नॉट इग्नोर द सेकेंड ऑप्शन. Then I do the same process which I said even for the right questions which I am getting. अब थोड़े questions are like really easy वाला questions और very self explanatory वाला questions, उनको I simply leave, but only जहाँ पर मैं तुक्का मारा हूँ या फिर I have doubt in the options, I refer back to the answer key and the AI to get the answer and simply move on. So yeah, that is it. That is the only thing which I do for the analysis. I've tried various methods of other people and this is the thing which has worked for me and I do hope it will also work for you. And another thing which I do is I come back after some time and reanalyze. अब जैसे today what I did was I reanalyzed the previous mocks. So that is what I do sometimes. I come back to that mock again and I reanalyze it, and then I try to remember what was the reasoning which convinced me that this was the wrong question, this was the wrong option, this was what. So because I reanalyze, I'm developing my intuition, and because of that intuition, it helps me to make a better accuracy in my tukkas. So that is how I have a higher accuracy than a lot of people, even when it comes to flukes. So I believe that is it for the mock analysis, and bye.